Go. The home plate umpire's Ronnie Teague. He's given us the go sign, and the first pitch is hammered down the right field line, and it will be foul off on what is going to be a sizzling weekend in Gainesville. Get underway. It's 86 degrees tonight. Humidity has it feeling more like 90. The wind has been blowing out for the most part throughout the afternoon. It should die down a little bit tonight. So Fowler finally back to the box, and the 0-1 pitch is outside for a ball. Left-handed hitter, they'll alternate left, right, all the way down to get to the 8 spot in the lineup, where they'll go right at the bottom of the order. And now 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count here to the leadoff hitter in the top of the first.
Boy, that changeup was so good. Let's see if Liam comes back to it here to Fowler.
Off the end of the bat.
And Fowler's a veteran guy. They like him in that leadoff spot. JUCO transfer out of Pearl River. Was actually hitting 7th in the lineup when the season started. But things, as you know, in college baseball, everything kind of extrapolates out to the end of the year where you can be the leadoff guy, which he is.
1-2 pitch in the dirt. Luke Heyman's the battery mate tonight of Liam Peterson. Heyman's been doing pretty much all the catching now. Here as we go down the stretch of the regular season and into postseason play. 2-2. Touch low. Full count now. Peterson's last 2 outings have been cut short by Mother Nature. That happened again last week at Austin.
Won't happen tonight.
Certainly not. Payoff pitch. And he stays alive here, shooting that one foul off to the left. Could have been ball 4, but protecting is Bryce Fowler, the right fielder. Justin LeBron, the man we highlighted earlier, their shortstop, is on deck. Bama comes in with a record of 39-13. They're 4 games above 500 on the road and 3 games above 500 in conference play. Tried the 3-2 again. Just got a piece of it.
This is a really good at-bat for a leadoff guy, getting the pitch count up now. This will be the 9th pitch of the AB, which is definitely what you want the opposing pitcher to do to the leadoff guy. So Alabama's got to be happy with this.
Base hit into right field. And a base running threat is aboard, and Fowler. That's a very good at-bat for the leadoff hitter for the Tide.
Yeah, real good veteran guy. He's at the top of the order for that reason. And now it's going to get interesting because you got some tough hitters coming up one right after the other.
Let's get right into Justin LeBron here. He's a .317 hitter. Driven in 65 as we highlighted it with their lineup card. And he can pick it too. He's a fun player to watch. And he's late on that. Just didn't time up an off-speed pitch by Peterson very well. Fowler at first is 11 stolen bases on the year. And this is a team in Alabama that does not ground into a whole lot of double plays. They've stayed away from it throughout the entire season. And Peterson nicely ahead here, 0-2.
Yeah, LeBron was struggling up until the Georgia series. Had 3 tough weekends where he was only 4 for 31. That was a 129 average. That was against LSU, Mizzou, and Vandy.
The 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Can we call hits in back-to-back games a hitting streak? Can we say he has a 2-game hitting streak coming into tonight?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but he turned it around last week at 5 for 11 against the Georgia Bulldogs at home.
1-2, 1 out. Got a big one there and setting LeBron down. First strikeout for Peterson, who last week had 3 before his day was cut short.
Yeah, got LeBron to pull off that slider. You can see the head and the shoulders pull out, and that ball just drops under his bat. Great pitch by Peterson.
Peterson, good to be back home. The last time he was on this home mound, he struck out 13 against Arkansas. Peterson's outing last week at Texas cut short by lightning. There was a 2-hour weather delay at Austin. And then the prior week, the South Carolina mess, where he threw 5 pitches, and they postponed the game after that. He came back to pitch in the finale of the series. Away with ball 1 here to Cade Snell, who's reached base 14 straight games for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and he's been big because what he does, he protects LeBron.
One for you, sir. Although you'd fall out of the booth for that one. Good to see you again. Feel like the Gators have been away a long time.
Yeah, a couple of weeks there, Sean. We got a dandy this weekend here. I mean, so much at stake for both these teams, as we mentioned.
The 1-1 pitch, perfect. In there for his strike. The berms are already filling in. This is not the usual start to a series. I mean, you're going to have a Thursday start here and there during conference play. So it's a work night, school night. But the cool thing about the final weekend is that every team plays Thursday,
right.
Friday, Saturday. So it's not a staggered start to the weekend series like we see throughout. So we'll do some scoreboard watching with you tonight and through the series that will conclude on Sunday late afternoon, or Saturday rather, late afternoon. See, I'm already thinking Sunday. Sunday we'll find out, or we'll have a better picture Sunday, late Saturday night, who will play where in Hoover, because all the teams are coming for a single elimination tournament. That one's straight out to center. Yost is there, and there's two gone after that leadoff single by Fowler.
You see Peterson paying attention to Fowler at first base, and I think with 2 outs, definitely a chance to turn him loose here. But we talked about Fowler, 11 for 13 in stolen bases, but yet to have one in SEC play.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, because if you look at their overall team attempts, they've only attempted 54 times, right?
Yeah.
By comparison, the Gators have attempted 97 stolen bases this year. But yet the top 2 guys in your lineup are double digits with regard to stolen bases.
Yeah, for the season, as you mentioned, the number that they have in stolen bases at 48 out of 54.
Yeah.
They're 11 for only 13 attempts in SEC play.
They were very good in their non-conference schedule. A 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Even now to Richie Bonamolo Jr. Cleanup hitter in their lineup.
Yeah, out of New York by way of Wabash Valley Community College.
Oh, the old cannonball. Bonamolo Jr. has reached base in 15 straight.
Anytime we can work in Stan Musial, it's good, right?
Absolutely. Especially when you consider they could also play the song on the harmonica too, by the way. That ball is crushed. And it will be a 2-0 start for the Crimson Tide. Bonamolo with his 8th home run of the year will touch them all here. He drives in Fowler as well, and he's sitting on 46 runs batted in. And Peterson, who'd given up 5 first-inning runs this season, is behind here with 2 outs, 2 zip.
And he has really been getting it done for them. Had a home run against Georgia last week, and this pitch is up, and he made him pay. Bonamolo Jr., watch him get the foot down, then the barrel goes through, and that was a no-doubter.
Well, the Gators scored first in all 3 of their games last week at then #1 Texas. Here they come back home and will be down yet to touch the bat. And the 5th batter to come to the plate is first baseman Will Hodo.
Well, one of the ways that Liam Peterson has established himself, and they point to the fact that the Arkansas game when he gave up a home run to Aloy in the first inning, it went even further than the one we just saw. And old Liam Peterson would have fallen to pieces, maybe walked a few guys and let it snowball. What they love about him in that game, he came right back and struck out the next 2 hitters. So this is something to look at here. Does he let this thing affect him, or does he do what he did in the Arkansas game? Just go ahead and say, hey, you know what? There's good hitters in the SEC. I'm going to give up home runs, but I'm going right back to business.
Swing and a miss. He responds with a strikeout to Hodo, but for Alabama, 2 runs on 2 hits. As famous as away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bolzer comes in to tonight's action at 319 on the season. 1-1. That's a good start. Line over the shortstop. Actually, it's State and the second baseman. They had shifted. But nonetheless, Bolzer's aboard here with a leadoff single, and he's a little shaken up here at the end of the play. What'd you see here, Nick, as he comes around the bag?
Yeah, I was watching the ball in the outfield. I'm going to see it here for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just lost his footing as he was rounding. It looked like when he was in the grass area.
Yeah.
He looks like he's fine.
I think Michael Burns giving a little of the business now, too.
That was interesting. That ball, as you said, was over Staten's head. It had a bit over LeBron's head. LeBron's taller. He probably would have had that.
So here's Brendan Lawson, and he'd love to get back on track. Lawson was sick and really under the weather all last weekend and had his worst 3 games as a Gator. But the freshman's put together an unbelievable start to his college career. He's batting .316 coming into the final weekend of play. And there's that changeup from Fay.
Yeah, he's any pitch at any time is Fay. Last week, the first batter he faced McCarthy from Georgia. It was an 11 pitch at bat. Now he was able to get McCarthy out. A lot less to Bozer, but Bozer's standing on first.
Lawson went 1 for 13 last weekend in Austin. You know, it's interesting. We'll talk more about the bottom of the order when we get there, but it was those guys that kind of helped pick things up for guys like Lawson, who we've seen the Gators rely on near the top of the order so much. Runner going, and a swing and a chopper foul into the first base dugout.
Yeah, that was a delayed steal, and the reason why that would have worked, right after they did the defensive switch right there, that put the defense in a disadvantage of having to catch that ball on the run from the catcher. And I'll tell you, had that ball not been fouled off, Bozer would be at second base right now.
That's been his secret weapon, that delayed steal. Lawson might be 2. And a pretty good turn here by the Crimson Tide defense as the Gators ground into their 30th double play this season. And even with the shift, they're able to pull this off.
Yeah, LeBron stayed home. That's why. He does a smart play by just taking it himself. He's got a cannon for an arm, so no reason to flip that ball to a second baseman there.
So then it races the leadoff single, and now the catcher, Luke Heyman. First to Heyman is popped up. This is going to get out of play.
Another thing about Fay, when you watch him, he gives you that deceptive arm angle. It's kind of hard to pick up the ball.
The other thing about that, too, is the shadow line here at this time of day is cutting across the slab, the pitching rubber. The hitter is in the shade, and the top half of the pitcher is in the sun. Combine that with the arm angle that he was talking about, that slot.
Yep.
Now it's 1-1 here to Luke Heyman, who in the last 10 games is batting .256.
Yeah, he needs a big weekend. Gators trying to get that host spot. And you got to feel comfortable history-wise with the 13 wins the Gators have for postseason. But as we all know, getting to host is such an advantage in postseason play.
Saw that last year, Nick. You know, you just get into the thing.
Yeah.
And there's conference play for Heyman. He was flirting with 400 about 3 weeks ago. It's kind of come back to reality a little bit for Heyman. But last year, you had to go on the road for regional, super regional, and then obviously Omaha's what it is. But as Heyman gets plunked here and goes down, oh my. And Jared Schweim's on his way out of the dugout to check on Heyman. Luke grabbing that wrist. And it is really quiet right now at Condren Ballpark.
Definitely a guy the Gators cannot afford to lose.
Florida's already shorthanded.
Yep.
Kevin O'Sullivan talked at the conclusion of the Texas series that for that series, he had 1 bench player available. And in game 2 of that series, Nato was sick, was a late scratch in the lineup, so he had 9 guys. That was it.
That was it.
I mean, he kind of made a little light of it. Heyman playing in his 49th game, 49th start this season. And right now, the next catcher would be Brody Daudet, who's your starting first baseman today. In the immediate, there'll be a pinch runner to come out to take Heyman's spot. So Landon Stripling will pinch run here and take Heyman's spot in the lineup, which is the 3-hole.
And chances are he'll stay in and play first base.
Yes. All right, well, Heyman will wish him the best. He is heading for the tunnel for further evaluation back in the training room beyond. One on, 2-0 Alabama. Evans was the guy that you wanted to highlight coming into the game today, Nick, and it's because of what he's done here as a DH in the last, what, 7 games or so. Conference games, too.
Yeah, and hitting over, 321 in those games and 10 RBIs. And here's another thing, too. It's his last weekend as a senior here. You don't see that much anymore in college baseball between the portal, the draft, and all that. You don't see a guy that's in your program for 4 years that makes it all the way through. It's becoming a rarity. So it's
2-0 Alabama.
Kind and nothing more serious than that. But Sully did the right thing. Get him out, because you have to make sure he's 100%.
So Peterson back to work. He responded to the Bonamolo home run with a strikeout of Hodo. Pair of strikeouts, and now Jason Torres up for the first time. Third baseman for Alabama has reached base in 13 straight, adding 274 overall on the year. I mean, the Heyman thing, it just has the ripple effect.
Yeah.
It's his offensive presence. It's maybe more importantly his defensive presence.
Yeah, we just showed it. 10 home runs in SEC play. Not many guys in this conference have done that.
2-1 to Torres. He is low.
Torres out of Miami Springs High School, transfer from the University of Miami. But he's been a good addition for them. I just like the way he plays.
That's belted out into right. Wilson up against the fence, and with the sun out, he's there to make the catch. And the glasses are an A to Ashton Wilson. A long fly out for Torres. One gone here in the second. You know, he talked about kind of what's next for both of these teams regarding the NCAA tournament. RPI for both Florida and Alabama. Very healthy coming in. In fact, Florida's strength of schedule now after facing Texas last weekend is up to 4th in the country strength of schedule. Coleman Mizell out of Hartselle, Alabama. 1 to him, down and away.
Yeah, there's some dangerous hitters down there. They call Mizell Bull. That's his nickname.
Thought about it. Appeal to the third base umpire, Alex Ransom.
I'm talking to Rob Vaughn. He liked the fact that Mizell got limited playing time in 24, but stuck around. Most guys will bolt these days. But he wanted to be part of the team and being rewarded with some playing time.
I wish it wasn't so rare anymore.
Yeah, right.
Because I enjoy watching a guy develop in one program. When Peterson has missed, it's primarily been low, although the one he left up ended up beyond the left field fence here in this early outing.
And Mizell's dangerous.
Playable, and Sear on his way in to make the catch. So a pair of fly ball outs, and that's exactly what Peterson did last week in his start against Texas. He recorded 5 fly ball outs in a row, 6 of 7 in a stretch that went from the first to the second, and then got a line out and a pair of fly outs in his final inning of work, the 5th, before the weather delay came in. He was letting the ball fly up there in the top of the second inning. 2-0 Bama as we go to the bottom half. Austin sends it across, and after giving up that 2-run shot in the first, Peterson has recorded a strike. Bottom of the third at Georgia, and Texas A&M, who's trying to get up off the mat here, leads at Athens 4-2. A&M has hit the skids here of late, and they're fighting for their postseason lives this weekend. Here's the 0-1 to Sear, and it's knee high for a strike.
And you got to commend what Mizzou did. You know, the coaching staff did, you know, great job. Carrick Jackson and Tim Jamison just grinding it out.
That ball's belted out to left. Will the wind help it enough? No. It's going to hang up here, and Snell across to make the catch. That ball came flying off the bat. A little surprised.
Well, the wind's going from left to right, so it really did
cut
not.
It off.
Yeah, it definitely hurt that ball.
Here are those flags. By the way, if you're wondering why they're at half staff here today in the state of Florida, across the state, those flags are at half staff to honor all those who have given their lives in the service of our community, honoring officers fallen in the line of duty. And another pop fly out, and the catcher Donay is retired on 1 pitch here, and a very quick start to the bottom of the second inning for Tyler Fay.
Well, he got the shutdown inning after the Bonamola home run, and he's 1 out away from getting back in the dugout. So he's been impressive.
20 pitches so far, and Hayden Yost trying to give his teammates a little more of a look at him. The first pitch is grooved in there for a strike.
Everything you see out of Fay, his ball just moves. He's got the sinker, the 2-seamer, the cutter, the change.
The sinker, at least from what I've seen so far, Nick, not like a true sinker. It's more, it's a fastball with sink. Does that make sense?
Absolutely,
okay.
Yeah.
So to me as a hitter, whether it's a 2-seamer that has run on it like the first pitch to Yosti, that ball's right at the first baseman. Knocked down, Hodo scrambling, can't come up with it. He'll commit his 6th error of the year, and the Gators have a base runner with 2 outs.
Ground ball right at him.
Yeah.
And that's probably a play he's going to make 99 out of 100 times, but not there. Now let's see if the Gators can make it hurt. Got Yost, a runner at first base. Hole on the right side. You're down 2. Let's see how Kevin O'Sullivan plays it. With Heyman out of the game, you may want to play it a little different tonight, maybe.
Well,
maybe, yeah, you're down 2, which is going to say something right here.
First priority. Right. Left on base. Still 2-0 Alabama as we head for the 3rd. Is our statistician. He has come up with a dandy of a note, Nick, as we get into the 3rd. You know, we talked about the Kevin O'Sullivan era so many times, and Steve thought, you know, wonder Sully's so good at so many things. How's he in finishing the regular season? Never would have thought to go for that stat, but his overall record in the final games, you know, of the regular season, we'll take him in a batch of 3 here, a 3-game set. He's won 13 series to just losing 4 in his tenure.
Wow. And what about last year, having to win 2 out of 3 up in Athens, your rival, just to qualify for the playoffs, and he rolls that into a trip to Omaha.
And a walk here to start things in the 3rd. First free pass for Liam Peterson. It's on 4 straight pitches. Cool. Now I say all these nice things about Kevin O'Sullivan, and I don't want, no, we're going to show him anyway. Yeah, a 4-pitch walk to the 9-hole hitter has that kind of a look.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, we show Kevin when that things happen, the 2-out walk and the leadoff walk, because they're in a coaching them in this country that's going to be happy about that.
Bryce Fowler up for the second time, 1 for 1. Tied right fielder. Donay doing the catching now. This is his first work with traffic.
Yeah, this is a big out to get with LeBron and Snell coming up, and then Bonamalo.
Right on target. That's where Donay wanted it. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You don't have to worry about the runner at first base right here. You just get the hitter.
Two-two. Fowler singled his first time up. Talked about Florida's strength of schedule. For Alabama, it's 18th right now, strength of schedule, as Peterson's run this full. The RPI, though, for Alabama is awfully impressive. It's 8 right now.
Yeah.
And
Rob Vaughn's done a nice job since coming over from Maryland with that ball club.
Popped him up and playable on the left side. It's kind of in no man's land here. Who wants it? Sear calls for it and stumbles into the out. Tough play. Blake Sear gets that first big out you were looking for with the 2 big guns coming up.
And, you know, when you're playing shifts and things like that, this is where balls can somehow fall in. He had a long way to run, did Sear. Nice play.
3 defenders converging here, partner.
Yeah, and it's funny. We've seen Bozer get out there way further than that.
So now LeBron, and the first to him is a strike. Peterson made quick work of LeBron back in the first. Struck him out, and he went down swinging at a breaking ball.
You see the angular body of LeBron, but 17 homers. And he's kind of like a scout's dream, because you could see where he could put more on his frame as he gets older. Just a sophomore, he was rated the 9th best shortstop in the state of Florida out of Archbishop McCarthy, but he was playing third base, so he wasn't on a lot of people's radar back then.
Stands 6-2, and he hits this one out toward Yost, to the track, to the wall, and it is gone. 2-run homer for Justin LeBron. Brings Plattner and LeBron across, and it's 4-0 Alabama.
Yeah, this kid's special. I mean, they're talking the possibility. I was talking to one of my scout friends before the game, and they're thinking, you know, he continues to grow like this, he could end up being 1st overall next year in 26.
1st overall.
He's in the conversation, I can tell you that much.
Well, he's made it 4-0, and that's the 50th pitch that you see right there from Peterson that goes bye-bye.
And the funny thing about it, he pulls his hands in here at the last second. He didn't really even get the arms extended. That's just some natural power again on that angular body of his.
So now Cade Snell lined out his first time up. And he about does the same thing again. Back out to Yost, and Yost on the move makes the catch at the warning track. 2 outs, nobody on, but 2 more runs in.
You gotta be careful with this guy too. You got a guy that hit a home run earlier in the ball game. He's coming up there feeling invincible. So you got to be careful. Maybe Gators start Bonamalo Jr. off with an off speed here, which is probably the play, because he's probably looking to hack a fastball.
Yeah, and the last 2 balls off the bat have hit it right where that wind's blowing out toward left center right now.
And sure enough, slider to start him off.
8th home run of the year went out in left field for Bonamalo. The 1-0 is tailing away. You know, Peterson went 4 innings last Saturday, and they felt like because his day was shortened at Texas, they could get him back into the game 1 role here on Thursday night. And he just hasn't been as crisp tonight.
Yeah, 55 pitches in 2 2/3.
We got a little help there, 3-1. This inning started off with a 4-pitch walk to the 9-hole hitter. When you know it, that's one of the runs that came in on the 2-run blast here in the inning by LeBron. Now the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4.
I would think Sully would come out now.
And here right on cue is the head coach of the Gators out of the first base dugout.
Talking about a model of consistency. 9 times the Gators went to the College World Series under that man's tenure of 18 years. And 2020, there was no College World Series, so better than half the time, Sully has taken the Gators to Omaha. Austin, SEC Freshman Player of the Week.
I told him before the game today, I said, I started calling you El Rey, which is Spanish for the king, the way he pitched last weekend. Gators pitching stepped right up last week. The starters were dynamite. But down 4-0 here. Runner aboard, and Will Hodo struck out his first time up. Back here in the 3rd inning.
Threat to go. Now, it's interesting, too. Donay obviously hasn't caught as much as Heyman, but Donay will take a back seat to nobody's arm because he's got a cannon back there.
It's one of the things he improved on in the offseason with regard to his catching, was using that cannon. That's going to get down in right field. One hop to Wilson. He'll get it in quickly and hold the runner at second base. And so it's 60 pitches now for Peterson. Still trying to get this last out in the 3rd. And the 7th man to bat here against Peterson in the 3rd will be the 3rd baseman, Jason Torres.
And a dangerous hitter in Jason Torres. Came under one of the recommendations of one of his amateur teammates down in South Florida, one Justin LeBron. Had his name in the portal, and LeBron goes, I know this guy, we ought to get him. And Rob Vaughn goes, that's good enough for me. And Torres has done a nice job, 274, 11 home runs on the season.
Well, there's a history of certain players that have a name LeBron in recruiting other players to his cause. And that's well placed. And rounding 3rd, Bonamolo is going to come in and score here. And Torres with his 37th RBI makes it 5-0 Alabama.
Yeah, he's barely been paying off dividends for them. And that's a big, big 2-out RBI to add to the lead. Slider hung around knee level.
Feel pretty good. He's got a nice cushion to work with, as he will face 9-1-2 in the Gators lineup in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Starts here with Justin Nadeau. And the first 2 is outside for a ball.
Justin doesn't bunt much, but they do respect it. 3rd baseman up. So if I was Nadeau, I'd look for something away and just slap it to the left side.
This one's upstairs. 2-0. It was a 9-pitch inning last time on the hill for Fay. 6 of those 9 pitches for strikes. The Gators have had 3 base runners today, but only 1 has reached via hit, and that one was erased on a double play ball. Just joining us, the other storyline, other than the 5 runs, is Nadeau shoots this one a long way but foul. As that Luke Heyman was hit by a pitch in the 1st and had to be removed from the game.
Yeah, Gator fans hoping that all it is a bone bruise. Maybe he takes a day off, and that would be the best scenario.
2-2. Down on strikes is Nadeau.
The changing of speeds by Fay is what gets hitters. Now, he got on a roll against Georgia last weekend and then hit a wall around the 5th inning. But right now, he looks good. This is a pitch that it's belt level, but it's the speed change that got Nadeau.
Well, the 5th and the 6th have when the Gators have done their most damage this year. Each of those innings has seen 65 Florida runs. Well, it's kind of a collision course between Fay, and then, of course, the Gators offense at that moment of the game. Normally that's a hit, but not here in the shift. And the second baseman, Staten, retires Bobby Bozer.
I mean, all you tell is a hitter, just keep hitting it up the middle, because eventually you're going to play in a league where that's going to be a base hit. I don't know how long they're going to keep the shift in college baseball. I'm not a big fan of it.
I'm not either. You know, the major league shift has been just enough, don't you think?
Yeah, just enough. Yeah.
There's Lawson, and the freshman takes it on the outside corner for a strike.
I don't like, you know, after certain pitches, you're taking guys and moving on the other side of the field and all that.
Well, we saw Texas doing it almost according to count. They get an 0-2 count on somebody or a 1-2 count, and then they would pull off their defensive shift. Longhorns are at Oklahoma this weekend against their arch rival. Texas's magic number is 1 to win the regular season title.
And here's a guy the Gators need to get on track this weekend. Brendan Lawson, as you mentioned, was ill last week, and his shift now being employed with the 2 strikes.
Lawson is 1 for his last 14. And the count even now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I love the fact that you see the shift going. So many times I see him pitching away from the shift. Right now, the way they got that shift, they should be attacking him in. There's no way he should even see an outside pitch here.
Bouncer back to the mound. Fay over to first, and another quick inning for Tyler Fay. He is through 3, and Alabama is off to a